If placebos work, even if you know they're placebos, then what's stopping you from selling placebo Adderall? Did you know that they have done placebo tests with knee surgery and it was just as effective as like a placebo pill?
Wow.
That blows my mind. Second of all, they've done placebo tests where they tell them it's a placebo and it works just as well.
That's crazy.
You're like a referral agency. You just farm it all out. Train your algorithm. We're thoughtlessly like letting the algorithms train us, but we've got to tell the algorithm what we want and it'll show us. Okay, this is part 2 with me and Sam talking all kinds of crazy ideas. Part 1 was exactly a week ago today. Let me know what you think. Another thing I thought for our tree trimming business is back to like the handyman idea is like an insurance policy where it's like, hey, $50 a year, $50 a year, which is relatively nothing. And if a storm happens, there's a freeze, a branch falls on your roof, you're at the top of our list.
Right.
That's it. And like, even if we don't make money on that $50, even if somehow we lose money, like it positions us as more of a priority in their brain. And we're already competing with how many other home service providers, like not even, it's not like they have multiple tree trimming providers, but any contractor or vendor that they, or merchant that they interact with on a daily basis. Now we're just a higher priority to them. And so when they're in an offhand conversation 3 months later about a tree, like if they don't pay that $50 a year, they probably don't think of us, but since they do, they mention us. You know, it's kind of an intangible that can move the needle.
I like that a lot because then you're like, yeah, recurring revenue is what most people would see that and be like, yeah, we want recurring revenue. I'm like, dude, I want not an LTV bump based on that revenue, but an LTV bump based on the more macro retention metric that creates of like, you just stay top of mind with them easier. Like, yeah, we've already worked with these guys. Tree trimming did a good enough job that we want to use them again. And so, yeah, like we'll pay the $50 a year.
There's a whole other benefit. So you can add another layer to that and say, you know what? I'll do you one more. We're going to stop by quarterly and just inspect your trees because sometimes branches fall in the tree, but they don't hit the ground. And it's still, you might not notice it, but I'm looking for it. I am. And what that does is it gives you an excuse 4 times a year to upcharge or to quote additional products or services.
Right.
So we have a septic system at our house because that's all that they have where I live. And there's, the septic company that installed it tried selling me on an annual plan just like this. And I said no for 8 years. One day we had a big break. It was like $1,600 to fix. And the guy comes all smug and he's like, if you would have been on our maintenance plan, this wouldn't have happened. It's like, How much is it? Well, it's $200 a year. Okay. 8 years. Okay. Right. So we broke even. Like I want math on my side, which means I don't need to pay for your plan. Okay. But from his side, it's a genius offering because so now my wife made me buy it.
Yeah.
From here on out, we do pay for it.
Yeah.
And every quarter he comes here and he's like, oh, your sprinkler head's broken. That's $240. That's it.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm paying you to quote me 4 times a year. What a scam.
Right. That's what I was saying at the beginning. I was like, dude, like it just is you can sell it as an add-on benefit, whatever of like, dude, well, just like you're almost like an insurance policy, but it just gets you a guy on site schedule that they're happy to see that like can, you go get an extra $1,000 out of that customer a year because the sprinkler head, because this, because that.
So as a tree trimmer, you show up and it's like, hey, knock on the door and you lead with good news. You're like, hey, good news. You're in great shape. Everything's good here. You don't owe us anything. By the way, we now offer mulch. And I notice your mulch is getting kind of old. For $400, we could knock that out tomorrow. What do you think?
Okay. So talk to me about this. Could you do this if you do not have a pre-existing home service business? Could you just launch the maintenance? Right. Or like how would you even describe that, dude? It's like get a third party's unbiased opinion on what your home needs, right? And then come out once a quarter.
You're like a referral agency.
Literally, bro.
You just farm it all out.
Literally just farm out every single thing to like your preferred vendors. And like almost like I had this idea a while ago, living where I live in LA, there's a lot of money here, right?
Sure.
And I think that there's this need for what I want to call like a family concierge. Right? Like, I think a lot of people like the idea of having a personal assistant. And so like you would have one person, right? That you'd give them the phone number and say, hey, you pay $99 a month. You ever need to schedule dry cleaning? You ever need to make a reservation at a restaurant in this area? you ever need, your oil whatever, right? Like whatever needs to go down for you to live your life that we can remove some friction on, you pay us $99 a month. You just text us whatever you need, and then we just farm that out to anybody else. Like, oh, we need a new gardener. Cool. We've got these 3 vendors. Here you go. Here's their pricing. Do you want us to handle that? Which, like, then you get into some interesting stuff. You get their credit card on file. You can pay for them. You can do some credit card point like, there's things to do. But like that model of like, hey, we're having issues with A, B, and C, and just positioning the middleman as a better offer, right? Your home concierge, right? Like your whatever it turns into, and just middleman it up on a recurring, and then you get kickbacks from your referral partners, or you control billing on the top and you go to, homeboy A and say, hey, this guy needs new sprinklers. What's that going to cost? They say $250. You go back to that guy and say it's $350. I just feel like there's a move there to be like literally launching it as a middleman in a local demo like that.
Yes, I got an idea. So let's take 2 ideas, put them together.
Yep.
So you take the Go Outdoors model, $5 yearly membership, and you go up to a household and you say, hey, I own, what would you even call this? Like, you don't want to say home warranty because those have like a scammy connotation. Some sort of like a concierge, right? You said it.
Concierge is a great word.
That's the only downside.
I know.
But it's
is it I or an E,
nobody knows. Scientists haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
But basically what we do, we have 2 plans, $0 a year and $5 a year. Okay, hear me out. We will stop by every quarter in person, like no BS. We will leave a note on your door to prove that we were there. And we're just going to look around. Do you have pests? Do you have any sort of issue? Do you have trees hanging, roofing issue? That's it. And if you pay $5 a year, you're going to get 20% off any service through our vetted partner network. If you don't pay $5 a year, no problem. You can still call or text us anytime you see or need something, and we'll stop by every quarter. The only thing that the $5 gets you is a 20% discount on any service. So what that does is it just gives you an excuse to stop by every quarter and quote them something.
It's a sales
and
pitch.
Farm it out to roof. You don't have to be an HVAC or a plumbing guy.
Right.
You're just farming it all out. It plays on the same human psychology. Like then when your faucet starts leaking, it's like, oh, you know what? Let's just call that guy because I'm paying $5 a year, or we're gonna get a discount, or he's gonna come anyway. You're top of mind.
I mean, like I was doing that same sort of model digitally for a while, and still kind of do when I do consulting. Right? It's like the way that I've always described it is like, for me, I say I'll play quarterback for your growth. Right? Like I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna look at your business, I'm gonna look at all of the different channels that could work, might work, what the math looks like, and then I can provide vetted partners for, hey, you need PPC. This is where we think we're going to see the most. These are the guys that I would go with, and just pump them there. Like I'm not doing the actual PPC management, but like they're paying for my eyes and expertise to then point them in the right direction. And I think that there's specifically as some of the commoditization happens across digital services, across whatever, you want somebody that can be there as the filter a little bit more. To be like, hey, are these guys like, there's 15 plumbing companies that can come out and do your septic, right?
Yep.
How do I know which one to pick? And being able to just pick up somebody that like the phone and call someone you trust to be like, hey, we're having issues. Like who? And just be like, these guys, they do this. Here's why. Run that. And so I think applying that same model over to a non-digital business is also super interesting.
And I think it's very important that the first couple times you stop by, there's nothing, you're not quoting them anything. You're buying goodwill, right? And then like on the third quarter, playing the long game, or else it's gonna be like, oh, okay, I see what this is.
Yeah.
But really all this is like, this is the in-person equivalent of like a paid ad on Facebook or Instagram. And what we're doing is we're just like, you know what? You're competing, like every vendor in the world is competing for your attention. I'm just going to pay a little bit of money to be higher up the priority list, right? It's going to be job, spouse, kids, church, sports. They're at the very top. And then it's like Kohl's. Maybe you shop at Kohl's every week, or Target or Whole Foods or Walmart. They're right there. I want to be just below that, just at the top of the mind. When anything happens inside or around your house, I'm just paying a little bit of money, or in this case, charging a little bit of money to be more top of mind than I am today.
Yeah, I think that's the move, dude. Like And there's so much you can do from automate. Like there's so many ways that you can lever that up to make it so efficient, right? Like when I think about like the quarterly check-in, right? It's like you just build a massive, I don't know the last time that you've moved in or out of an apartment, right? But like when you move in, they give you a piece of paper and it has like a list of all of these things that like you have to confirm are good in the apartment, or like, and then when you move out, they do the same list about like, hey, we're going to use the security deposit because you mounted a TV on the wall and tore the drywall out. And so if you do that, right, but it's 6 pages, once a quarter we come out and we fill all of this in with notes and all of the things, and like, here's resources on how to, we noticed your grass is a little dry, we don't think you need to hire someone to fix it yet, here's some things that, ChatGPT, please send us an email with 5 recommendations for keeping your grass green, right? Like, here's our top 5 tips for this. It'll drop your cost on maintaining the home because you don't need to hire, right? Like there's so many different ways to run that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. AI has got to play a role there.
It has to.
So I've gotten sucked into like the DIY algorithm on Instagram.
Okay? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And some of these videos, okay, here's an example. This woman took a bunch of paper scraps and she put them in a bowl, put water in them, got like an immersion blender and made like a paper mache and used like these little just household items, things that everyone has around the house, to make a moon. And then she put like an LED lighting strip around it and put it on her wall. And it looks like the most incredible moon ever, with craters and super hyper realistic, same color and everything. These videos get like 60 million views. And it's literally just a craft that a mom made in her house. And she's monetizing with like an Amazon store with like 2% affiliate links. Why isn't there anyone out there? And if there is, please show them to me. That's like just training the algorithm to show you these things and then building products and pushing
on
them,
the back,
building products of these and pushing them with paid ads.
Right.
What are we doing? Or turning the DIY video into a plan, a PDF, and selling it on Etsy for $19.95.
Right. Or just like doing, I mean, we talked about this when I was in Dallas, like Neon Bears was that, right?
Yes.
Was like, oh, exactly. I can go.
You did this.
I did it. Like, and granted, like, me slinging acrylic, I don't have one around here, but like acrylic bears was just not at the top of my priority list, with the 30 employees,
sure.
But
what I
mean?
It worked.
Like, but it did
converted.
Work. It sold units, dude, on a solo drop lander that I just like sniped internet photos to do. Like, yeah. And so I think there's opportunity in that. It goes back to that other episode, which people should go and watch. Is just like, there are other people promoting products that they just aren't selling the product on the back end, but the videos are going viral, right? Paper mache, A, B, and C. I mean, the cooking, dude, like somebody somewhere is going to stack an absolute bag off of selling digital cookbooks. And I just haven't seen it yet.
Oh, I got something to talk about here.
Like the cooking videos that have taken Instagram by the neck. Every other video I see or that Lauren sends me is a cooking video for the air fryer, for the
They're
right?
all bangers.
And it's like, these people aren't selling anything. They're not selling a cookbook of all of their recipes. What are you doing? It's like, bro, like, I'm just going to take your video. I'll give you credit. That's fine. But like, it's all going to go to the cookbook that I'm putting together, or like a niche content site, or like an iOS app or a Microsoft, you know what I mean? A little software. Like, like, like there's ops there that I think are super interesting. And it's all just like, the market is already telling you what you want, bro. Like, you can see the like count on the video. You know that this chicken piccata air fry recipe has, 500,000 people that are interested in cooking it. And it's like, all right, cool.
You piccata be kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me, dog.
Dude. All right. I got a bunch of ideas.
Yeah.
So first of all, ChatGPT is replaced. Like, I like to cook. It has replaced any of those dumb recipe blogs that have so many ads.
Dude, it's like, thank you for the recipe. The last thing I need to know is about your daughter's 3rd grade class day.
I don't care that this is your husband's favorite meal after a hard day of mowing the lawn. 18 paragraphs later, maybe we get to the ingredient list. Then maybe we get to the instructions after 6 autoplay video ads.
Dude.
It's the worst way to monetize. With all these ads, you cannot read what you're doing.
Right.
So I'm done. Like, that phase of my life, lasted 36 years and I'm past it.
Yeah.
Just last night, I got some deer meat. I shot a couple deer.
Let's
I wanted
go.
to cook up some taco meat with my deer meat. And did you know that, side note, the number one ingredient on taco seasoning is cornstarch? Like, it's all filler.
Yeah.
It's
that
cornstarch
tracks.
plus some seasoning. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Like, it's full of carbs. Like, seasoning should not be full of carbs. And so I don't remember, like, back in the day when I was on keto, I had my own taco seasoning. When I say my own, I mean one I ripped from those stupid blogs. But last night, I just opened up ChatGPT and I'm like, give me a taco seasoning recipe. And then I looked at my Tupperware container that I wanted to put it in, and I saw it was 2.9 cups. So I thought, I'm going to leave a little space in there. And I said, make sure the final result is 2.5 cups worth of seasoning. Boom. Gives it to me immediately. Awesome. And then I start putting this together and I see, dang, the number one ingredient is chili powder. And I hardly have any chili powder left. So I said, hey, whip me up a new recipe, substitute out the chili powder. So I asked for a chili powder substitute, and it went a step further and it reincorporated the substituted items into the original recipe for me with the math and everything. So that's cool. But like, I'm never going to go to a mom blog and read a recipe
ever again. It's
only chat.
Dude,
and
these are the iOS things that I'm talking about. Like, that's the iOS play that I want is ChatGPT wrappers around specific use cases like that. Well branded, super simple.
Yes. And like, Twitter bros will tell you there's no business there because people just use ChatGPT. And I'm going to say, I don't believe you. There's 8 billion people on the planet.
Yeah.
I don't need to get all of them to be a customer here.
No. You get 7
billion would be great.
1,000 people at $69.99 a year, $70,000 recurring revenue.
All right. If you are watching this clip right now, you are watching this on YouTube. And if you are a fan of podcasts, please check out my podcast while you're at it, because sometimes I have podcasts that aren't on YouTube and sometimes I have YouTubes that aren't on podcasts. So check out the Koerner Office on any podcast platform, or you can go to tkopod.com. Also, my newsletter, we'll throw that in there. There are no ads. It's weekly. It's different content than my podcast and YouTube. Newsletter.chrisjkoerner.com. You'll see the link and we'll see you there.
Like on autopilot for what? A ChatGPT wrapper?
What's your positioning? No stupid mom blog preamble, no ads, no autoplay videos. That's it. It's the anti what everyone's used to.
Straight up. The other piece too is like, I've been thinking about, like, ChatGPT wrappers are super interesting. I think, there's a few of like niche use cases of plant identification or like all these little things. I'm just going to say this out loud. Someone can steal my idea. Dude, I want to launch an app. I just want to call it Pastor. And I just want it to be I know, right? I just want it to be a Bible study partner. Right? Like, you can go in and like have a conversation with a pastor. That's AI. Right?
And you got to make it hipster. You got to remove the vowels. It's just got to be PSTR.
Pister.
Anyway, keep going.
But like, there's stuff like that I feel like, again, like, you're talking about massive market. You're not trying to sell them a $3,000 program. You know what I mean? It's like you're trying to get them to sign up for $60 a year. And I just think that world with markets of that size are interesting. Like,
dude, and it remembers the notes you take on certain scriptures you read. And then 6 months later, it's like, oh, you took a note similar to this in John, chapter 7.
Right. Then you start layering in additional functionality of a daily Bible study journal or like
accountability partner.
Right. Like, did you say your prayers today? Yeah. Like, no, you're going to hell. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Knock on the door.
Yeah, literally. But I think there's just stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. I just think there's a world where there's so much. If you're listening to this and you want to build an iOS app, like, I will fund that that one specifically, just because I have that Send Prayers Instagram account that's at 13,000 followers just on posting like Christian music. Yeah.
Is it still posting stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I got to go refill the coffers every once in a while, but
right.
I'm like, yeah, I'm in.
Can AI watch and understand videos right now? Like, if I upload a reel, can it tell me exactly what's going on?
I think so.
I've never tried it because obviously it can do videos.
Potentially a downloaded version.
Dude, you mentioned plant identification. I'm a tree guy. I like trees, right? And I had this oak tree in my backyard and I was like, what is this? And I knew they had apps that did it. I'd never had one on my phone. So I look at the apps. They all cost money, but they all have a 7-day free trial. I download the app. I identify it. It's a scrub oak. Cool. Then I delete the app because I ain't paying for that.
Right.
Now You know, I'm identifying trees all day, every day
Right.
because it's free in ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And guess what? Those plant identification apps, they're doing great. They're doing just fine.
They're
They
fine.
are doing just fine. And they haven't
Yeah.
changed anything on their back end either. They
No.
don't need to. They're
No.
doing great. Just a perfect example of how no rapper is too stupid.
Well, it's just
to be bought.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I had to break this pattern of for myself was really like selection bias. Was like when you think what's that book, Crossing the Chasm, right? Like they talk about early adopters and they talk about, right, like and then you get to the mass market and all of that. I realized that me and everybody that I'm around, which like is a broad stroke on like Twitter, right? Specifically, these are early adopters.
Yeah.
Like, and
like
sometimes
proximity bias.
Yeah, like
They're
I have
near
to
you,
reference check. Like one of my best friends here, I grew up with him. We went to kindergarten together. Like he's on Twitter, but he's not. Or my sister, right? Like my sister, dude, like she doesn't use ChatGPT. Like
I don't know like anyone in real life that's on Twitter. I don't know I don't know how they have 200 million daily active users because I don't know any of them.
And so we just sit in this world of selection bias of like, oh, these people have already done this. Oh, like it's just ChatGPT.
Yes.
It's like, no, dude. Like I promise that you can just go put out an offer, and like 99% of the markets, they're not even going to look at your plant identification app and be like, oh, this is just a ChatGPT wrapper. You and I know that.
Yeah.
You and I see all these apps and we go, oh, this is a Fugazi, you know, like. Like it's a Fugazi, but like the market has no idea what's going on. Like they just think that that's what the app does. They're like, oh, they built this thing.
Take it a step further and do a side-by-side Google Trends comparison, two search terms, ChatGPT and Perplexity. Okay. You and I know Perplexity. It's a household name. It's like a 20th of the search volume as ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So why not build a Perplexity wrapper?
Right.
Right. And then you can even sell to the people on Twitter.
Right.
Because they're not even talking about Perplexity.
No, it's like they don't even know, dude. It's like go ask the guy that's bagging your groceries at the store later what Perplexity is. And he's like, dude, a drug? I don't know. Like, what are you talking about?
But he'd buy our app.
But he would. He'd be like, dude, I want to be able to identify the tomatoes in my garden. You know?
Dude. I keep getting distracted from the original idea of like a paper mache moon thing. And that's not the idea. It's just the idea of, I love, like this guy asked me, so I'm doing my call-in segments again, right? But it's different in that people can record a voicemail and then I play it. So they're not live. They can't keep asking questions. It's very limited. And this one guy called in and he's like, hey, I want to do what you're doing on social media, like talk about business ideas, but in Canada. So it's totally different. I would never compete with you. I'm like, dude, do you know how the internet works?
Yeah. I was like, dude,
you know
the internet is the internet.
But he's like, I just have one question.
We are one nation under Elon.
It's like, I just have one question. Where do you get your ideas from? Like, where do you source them? I'm like, dude, I get them from Instagram. I just train the algorithm. And so that's a whole other framework, is like, train your algorithm. Like, do I like watching Theo Von videos? Absolutely. But not on this account. If I see Theo Von come across, it's like, not today, Satan.
No.
Away.
Get out of here, dude.
No like, no bookmark, no share with Nick.
Literally.
I'm swiping away. If I see someone making a paper mache moon, I'm going to bookmark, I'm going to comment, I'm going to like, you're just training the algorithm. But
straight up.
We're thoughtlessly like letting the algorithms train us. But if we really want to learn or see these niche things, we've got to tell the algorithm what we want and it'll show us.
That's what I do I have 3 different accounts and I train them all on 3 different things.
You have to.
And my personal account is a lot of Theo Von for sure. But like the other ones aren't.
Here's what you do. You go find the 50 million view paper mache moon video.
Yep.
Okay. Upload it to ChatGPT. You say, I know you don't really know what's going on here, but I want you to come up with a plan to make this. Clearly, and you can describe it. You give it some help. It's paper mache. They're putting it in a bowl, immersion blender. But I don't know, what does the moisture content need to be? They've got little bottle caps to make the craters. What size bottle? Like, I need varying bottle caps. So you need a milk jug. You need a 2-liter bottle. Like, I want you to write this out. 10 seconds later, you've got a plan. Export to PDF. Log into Etsy. Sell it $19.95 alongside the video. But we're not done. We're not done, Sam. Okay, and I'm going to start calling you California Sam. Okay, because you've got the California voice, and I think it just works. Okay,
thank you.
That's a compliment. And so then you go to the creator, of the video who's not monetizing it at all, and you say, hey, I love your paper mache moon. I love it so much. I'm going to sell it on Etsy. But you know what? I want to give you 25% of all those sales. I noticed you haven't posted it since May. Did you know that you can safely, and when I say safely, I mean it will get just as much, if not more engagement. You can safely simply repost. You just hit repost. That's it. Any piece of content, and no one will remember it. And most creators don't even know that. Like, it has to be new, it has to be fresh. So you can safely repost that. But this time, you're going to put a link in the bio, or you're going to put a Manychat automation that leads to my Etsy listing, and you're going to get $5 every time it sells. And all you have to do is hit repost.
The Manychat. Like, if you were just, gosh,
I know,
it's brilliant. It's Manychat is your answer.
That's it. Or post the story.
Yeah,
Can
like
brother
you
get a story?
like you go find products that you think you can sell on Etsy, Amazon, Direct, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, whatever it is, you go to them and say, hey, we got this thing. You're just going to send, this is your script. You already have this video. All you need to do is say, comment X, and I'll send you my guide, product, kit, bot, whatever. They do that. You set up, you own the Manychat automation on the back, and you just go all pushing towards that product. And you could do that times a million creators and a million products. Like, all you're doing is just trying to identify trends, spin up products to fulfill that quickly, and then you're just managing. That's, dude, you're a middleman.
Dude,
like, you just
I love being a middleman.
Dude,
it's
I'm
the
always
most
down.
Crapped on title in the world,
right?
And I'm here for it. Hire me as
everybody
is
a middleman, bro.
Put me on your middleman payroll. Okay,
everybody's a middleman.
Dude, quick plug: I do have a Manychat affiliate link with a discount in the show notes. I got to. But dude, everyone wants step-by-step plan. Step number 1: create a new Instagram account. Or Instagram has a new feature, by the way, Sam, where you can reset the algorithm. Did you know that?
No, that's
Click
dope.
a button, reset it. Okay.
Wow.
So go into Instagram, reset the algorithm, and just start training it. Start searching for things, right? DIY, whatever it is. Train it, like bookmark, create a bookmark folder with all these things. Okay. Then you're going to go use my Manychat affiliate link, sign up, and you're going to get a keyword. Then you're going to upload that video to ChatGPT. It's going to tell you what's happening. It's going to spit you out like 2 pages worth, but you need more than that. You need volume. Right. So then you're going to say, ChatGPT, go to step 3, and I need you to elaborate on that. Go to step 4. I need you to elaborate on that. Repeat over and over until you have like a 17-page PDF. Go to Etsy, create an account, have your mom and grandma buy something to leave you a 5-star review, push some paid ads to it to get some more reviews, get some traction. You want to put that video front and center on your Etsy listing, and then you're going to reach out to the creator. She probably won't respond, because if she has a video with 50 million views, she probably has a ton of DMs, but you're going to find her on any other platform. And I promise you, he or she will respond on one of the platforms. It's just a numbers game. People do it to me. They will copy and paste the same message, and I do respond to them. That doesn't mean I want you to do this if you're listening, but it works. And then you're going to say, hey, all I need you to do, just hook a brother up with a swipe up on my story with paper mache moon, or with moon, or with anything, and you're going to get $5 every time it sells, and you won't have to do anything. Why aren't we doing this? 50 million views. Right. That equals demand. Guess what? Etsy PDF equals worldwide sales.
Yeah.
No shipping. No fulfillment.
Yeah. Game over.
What are we doing?
Dude, what are we doing?
Dude, I need a nap.
I know. I need 8 more hours a day.
I need another peach Alani.
Dude, with that, I had to switch to the non-caffeinated drink.
Thoughts and prayers, dude.
Oh, it's so good, bro.
What is it?
Noco. Amino acids.
I just had an idea. Did you know that I'm fascinated with placebos? Okay, first of all, did you know that they have done placebo tests with orthoscopic knee surgery, and it was just as effective as like a placebo pill?
Wow.
That is a fact.
They faked the surgery.
Yes. They go under, and you wake up and you're like, you're good. And they'll put like a cast on their leg. They'll make it seem like they didn't do anything.
And they were fine.
And the results were the same. Like, that blows my mind. Second of all, did you know that they've done placebo tests where they, control group A, they got group B. Group B is the placebo, and they tell group B, here's your pill. It is a placebo, which like breaks every rule of the book, right? Here's your placebo. Wait, what? Yeah, we're trying something new. Same effect.
That's crazy.
They tell them it's a placebo, and it works just as well.
Well, so that was my thought that I just had as you said the first one. I was like, dude, I'm launching phantomsurgery.com. You just come on in here, dude. We'll give you
I
a
mean,
little laughing
seriously.
gas, call it a
Hey,
day.
you don't need to be a licensed doctor if you're not actually doing anything.
I'm not. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just gonna put an operating room in the back of a box truck and call it a day.
But in all seriousness, that would be an important part of it, is making it seem and feel and look
Oh
legit,
yeah.
right?
It's a set. It's a fake jet for sure. It's got to
Dude,
feel real.
so I was thinking, could you build a business around placebos, right? Like, here's the thing.
Well, I mean, if
Here-
it works, even if they know it's a placebo, then generally you would say, yeah.
Okay, tell me if I'm unethical parent for even thinking about this. So I haven't done this, but I'm seriously considering it. 2 of my 4 kids show like serious signs of ADHD. I
Yeah.
wonder where they got that from. Probably my wife, right?
Yeah. Definitely on her bloodline over there.
It's from her. Anyway, and they're not medicated. They're both extremely smart. They're in gifted and talented programs. But I've heard that like it really doesn't become a problem until age like 10, 12, right?
Got it.
And they're not really there yet. But like no parent wants to like look for an excuse to give their kids pills, myself included.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm good.
But like if I find that it genuinely improves their quality of life, I'm willing to do that. We just would rather exhaust other options first.
Right.
What about this? What if I go on Amazon, I order some sugar pills,
Right.
and I put them in a bottle? See this? Looks just
Yep.
like this. And I could even put a label on it. It's
Right.
just like Adderall. It's literally a sugar pill. And I go to my kid and I say, hey, and they don't, I'm not sitting down with a doctor. They don't know any better. It's like, hey, clearly you're struggling with your homework. Your dad has ADHD. These pills really help. And I think they could help you. It's a very small dose, and I think it'll help. And then give my kid a sugar pill and see if it works. What do we think? Is that completely like, am I about to get canceled? Is this it?
No,
Is this me getting
no,
canceled? Because I haven't done this. To be clear, I've never done this.
Yeah. Mom,
Just put it out there.
No, I'm with that. I think in an interesting way. Have you seen Tabs, the sex chocolate?
Yes.
I think
That's
it's so
what it is.
similar. It's the same
There's
thing.
nothing going on in there.
There's
right?
not. It's not anything other than the fact that you and your partner have both opted in to
confirmation
this thing
bias.
that
It's confirmation
says
bias.
we are about to get hot and heavy down here, and so then like you just get your brain into being, whatever vernacular
It's
you want to
confirmation
use.
bias.
Yeah, it's like
You're looking for it, so
we're doing it. It's like, yeah, we're gonna have this before, and then it's like it doesn't. Not that it doesn't, but like,
I mean, come on.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's good marketing. Period. End of
it's
story.
phenomenal marketing.
And I'm not mad at it. Okay?
Right.
Am I a customer? No. Am I mad at good marketing that might be a little misleading? No.
Dude, I might be a customer, bro.
Muhammad, edit that out. Anyway, you could build a brand around the placebo effect.
For sure.
Why not?
Just call it placebos.
If placebos work, even if you know they're placebos,
Bro.
then what's stopping you from selling placebo Adderall?
I was gonna say, could you put that on the website? Like Adderall. Like on
that could be a
and
thing.
Be like, dude, that would
you'll
be
get sued by.
Would you?
But
if you disclaim it as a placebo.
I'm just saying like the trademark Adderall. Like,
sure,
you know what I'm saying?
Sure. But like, yeah, you fly close
I
to
don't
the
think
sun,
you could get in trouble for saying outright, this is actually not this is a sugar pill, but it's a placebo for Adderall.
And we just referenced the studies that you talked about. That's like, even these guys knew that it was a placebo and it still had positive impact. You're not putting anything in your body other than 0.5 gram of sugar once a day. And your cost on that is zero. Like, I'm not
zero,
but like,
I mean,
cogs on that is
your packaging
nothing.
Is the most expensive part.
Yeah, like your cogs on that is like what, $4 if
max.
Sell it for $28.
Well, dude, if you ship pills in, like, we're talking about shipping pills here. This is really devolved. If you ship pills in like an envelope, like not in a pill bottle, you're paying the cost of a stamp. So shipping
you get the flat,
is basically
like the
nothing.
flat pack.
Yeah. Yep. It has to be under 1/4 inch, and that would be. While you look for that, by way of backstory to the listeners and or watchers, there it is. There it is. Yep.
Toss that in a mailer, dude.
I had stopped recording, and we were talking about the drink he was drinking,
Yeah.
and it looks like an energy drink, but it has no caffeine. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, who doesn't drink caffeine? And he's like, well, it still has the vibe of caffeine. Then we started talking about placebos, and I had to hit record again. So this is like an encore. This is like an
Yeah, dude.
idea encore.
An idea encore. I mean, I feel like when I crack this thing open, I get excited for the next 2 hours of my life. Very similar
Confirmation bias.
impact outside of the fact that caffeine has a biological indicator. But I was feeling, before we got on this pod, I was on back-to-back calls for 4.5 hours. I was feeling a little rundown. I took a shower. I went and grabbed this, and I was like,
There it
let's
is.
get after it. And then we popped on and shapew off to the
Who's
races.
going to be run down on the TKO pod? You're
That's
just
what I'm
not going to
saying,
happen.
especially when you have a placebo in your hand.
Thanks for listening and or watching to the Koerner office. We'll see you next time.